Okay, today we are going to create a paper weaving. So you are going to get two pieces of paper, a yellow and a red. You're going to fold, it doesn't matter which one you fold, but you can fold one in half, hamburger style. And then across the open part, I want you to draw a line, and I want you to write your name and your teacher's name. And after you've done that, you need to make sure that this is the open part where it opens, and then this is the folded edge, because you want to have that be the folded part and this is the open part. You're going to take some scissors and you're going to cut from the folded edge up to that line that you drew. Don't cut past that line. You want to make these about an inch apart. Be careful that you don't cut past that line, because we're going to want to make sure that these are all connected. Go slowly. And once you have that finished, we're going to wait, and we'll do this together. And we're going to let that rest. So you have all these kind of fringy things. So you can open that up and you'll see it's all still connected. I don't have anything that's falling apart. It's still pretty much one piece of paper with all these sections cut. So just kind of lay that flat. We're going to have our name actually on the back. So we'll have this on, this is the front of our paper. The second piece of paper we're going to cut vertically. See the long direction. Vertically, this is horizontally. You can see that's the short direction. So we're going to just cut strips. We're not going to fold this paper. You're going to cut these strips all the way from the bottom to the top. They don't all have to be perfectly even, but try to make a little pile. You can see how I'm just kind of cutting over my paper, and I have a little pile going. That way I don't lose my strips. Some of these will be the same color at your table, and you might not use all of these, but we're just going to cut up the whole paper anyway. So I'm going to keep cutting until I don't have any more paper left. You can see I'm holding it with my hand on the side. And I think that this one I can probably cut in half. Just estimate, by the time you get to the end, you'll be able to see I'm being careful with my fingers so I don't cut my fingers. And now I have my little strips of paper. So now we're going to get to start weaving. The weaving is a little tricky at first, but once you understand how it works, it'll be fun. You'll see how it goes. So you're going to kind of go over and under these sections that we cut. I'm going to start under, and then I'm going to go over this section. And I have to sort of lift up my paper and slide my paper through. So you can see it's kind of a pattern when you start to look at it. And then this will stick off the edge a little bit, and that's okay. That'll help me out when I start to glue these. Now this one I went under the first section, so I have to go the opposite for my next one, so it starts to look like a checkerboard. So I'm going to go over this first part and then under the next part. And you can see how it's the opposite until I get to the end. And I want to make sure if they're not close enough together, then you don't see the checkerboard. I want to make sure I slide those nice and close together so there's no space in between. Now what happens sometimes if students don't do the opposite for every other one? I'll show you. You can see how this is the same as this one. It wasn't the opposite. These they'll slide right on top of each other. There won't be the checkerboard pattern. So you need to make sure that you go over and under each one the opposite from the one before it. And you can see I'm kind of taking my fingers, I'm lifting up one of those sections so I can slide this through. And then when I get it to the end, notice how there's some space here in the middle. I need to push that close, and you can see my checkerboard starting to form. Once I'm finished with the whole thing, it should look like this. It's like a checkerboard. Okay? We'll glue down the end parts, and then we'll cut those off if we want to. If you want to leave those kind of dangling off, you can. If you want to cut them off, you can. And then we're finished for today. And if you can fold this back in half and put it in your folder, or just put it in your folder flat like that. And we'll talk about what we're going to do next week.